course, we have to have BYUtv football analyst Blaine Fowler here to break it down. You look at the 12 games. I like October.
Well, October is challenging
Yeah.
and really exciting all at the same time. It's wonderful. I think Tom Homo has done a great job with putting this together in just the second year of independence to have the schedule that they have in place. And it's just going to keep getting better. But October, wow.
November, not so great. But you know what? We knew that coming in. But last year, everything was in September and then things taper off. This year, it's September, a bigger, stronger October before we get into the WAC schools.
Yeah, and I like that. And there's some, right out of the gate, I do like Washington State with Mike Leach coming in as the new head coach. They'll be throwing it all over the place. And there's 3 Pac-12 opponents on this schedule. Good regional rivalries that are starting to form. 4 WAC opponents, and they've been great partners as Tom's had to put this independent schedule together, and 5 games against bowl teams. That's big. It is a very aggressive schedule this year.
I like it because it caters to the Cougar Nation. It takes the team just about everywhere.
Yeah.
And as you look at the toughest matchup on that slate, who is it?
Well, I think the toughest matchup every year is Utah, just because the coaches are so familiar with one another. You have coaches on the staff at Utah that played at BYU and were graduate assistants and things here. So familiarity and the pressure that comes with that game, even when these teams are not evenly matched. There are teams that BYU has had that are significantly better than Utah and vice versa, and the game always is a tough ball game. So that is absolutely the toughest game on the schedule every season.
I like that the Cougars take a good defense up to Salt Lake and a senior quarterback.
Yeah, that would make a big difference because experience helps in that game.
Who's going to be the toughest to prepare for? There's just one bye week. Remember, we had 2 last year.
Yeah.
Just 1 this year. As you look at maybe the big 6, who's going to be the toughest?
Well, when I looked at the schedule, it immediately jumped out at me. Georgia Tech. You've got to go from being on the road in South Bend at Notre Dame, back to Provo, and then fly to Atlanta, play in a big-time environment against Paul Johnson and a team that runs the option as well as anyone in the country. And when he was at Navy, he was 11-1 against all the other service academies combined. So he runs it to perfection, and now he's got better athletes. 2-time ACC Coach of the Year, one of the top running offenses. And when you only have 1 week to prepare and get on the road, that one to me is the toughest preparation game on the schedule this season.
If I'm a Cougar fan, no matter where I live, what game do I want to buy tickets to be at?
You better get to South Bend. If you have not been to a ball game at Notre Dame, then you're missing out on one of the great events in football. It has got such great history. You can go through the Hall of Fame there. Their fans treat the opponent with tremendous respect, and they learn about the other team. They're a very educated fan base. There's great traditions there. I grew up hating Notre Dame, growing up in upstate New York. I like Penn State and Pittsburgh. I did my first broadcast there of an Air Force game, and I fell in love with the place, and I have been ever since. And BYU had a great experience there the last time they went. And if you're a fan and you haven't been to Notre Dame, you have got to go experience that.
So much more on the schedule next week, and we'll get Robbie's story, the team preparing for spring drills, which again start 3 weeks from today. That'll be coming up next week on True Blue. BYU has won a school record 7 straight 20-win seasons in basketball. The previous record was 6 straight 20-win plus. Who coached the Cougars during those 6 years? Well, the answer is Roger Reed, and David Rosenbaum from Spanish Fork, Utah, won 2 tickets to Saturday's men's basketball game against Pepperdine. Nice job, David. Here's this week's question. BYU men's basketball team is in the top 15 in the nation in points per game, rebounds per game, and assists per game. What one other team is in the top 15 in these categories? Top-ranked Kentucky, Florida, Syracuse, or North Carolina. It's a good group. Email us your answer to win a chance to win some tickets to see the men's volleyball team at the Smith Fieldhouse against Cal Baptist this weekend, and that's a tough ticket to get. Would love to send you there. Next week on True Blue, getting ready for Gonzaga, we'll preview BYU's rematch with the Bulldogs, show you how freshman Lexi Eaton is helping lead the Cougar basketball team to the top of the West Coast Conference in women's hoops, and the day in the life of a gymnast. That's next week, plus more football. For Blaine Fowler, Tom Homo, and all our cast here at True Blue, I'm Dave McCann. Thanks for watching Some of the Good in the World on BYU TV. We'll see you later. Let's go book our tickets for South Bend.